Don't just live for tomorrow, or just live in yesterday. Just be glad for all you have that's in today.
Hey everyone, Connie here, and welcome to my blind reaction to Cannon Busters, episodes 3 and maybe 4. Not sure yet. We'll have to see if I want to continue after 3. So we are back. One Piece week is over. We're back to our regularly scheduled shenanigans. And yeah, I'm really interested to see where this show goes for multiple reasons. One, the blending of genres that we discovered in these first 2 episodes last time really excited me. Like, you have high fantasy, you have western, you have mecha. It's just like this wonderful blending. And I said in that reaction that it kind of reminded me of Trigun, and I still stand by that. I don't know exactly what it is about it. Maybe it is the western part of it specifically, but it's very much making me think of Trigun. And that's not a bad thing, by the way. I very much enjoy Trigun. So, yeah. Um, I've seen Trigun how many times? Like 3 or 4, I think, all the way through. I've seen various clips all the time, but I think I've only seen it all the way through 3 or 4 times. Um, but anyways, on top of that, I have been obsessed with the theme song. Um, I've listened to the full version. I've listened to the regular cutout version for the opening credits and everything many multiple times. I'm in love with the song. It's such a fantastic song. It's I love the sound of it. I'm just like obsessed with it at this point. Um, Now, mind you, that doesn't mean that I'll end up being the same way towards the series as a whole. I hope I will, but there have been plenty of anime out there where I love the theme song but don't love the anime. Examples are like Ergo Proxy, or Eden of the East, or Neon Genesis Evangelion, or oh, what's the one anime that has the really popular piano theme? Oh my god. I'm sure you guys could mention it in the comments if you know what I'm talking about. Angel Beats, never mind. Angel Beats, that's it. But it's like all those shows, it's like I don't like the show. But the theme songs are awesome. And I'm hoping that's not the case here. Because I want to love the show as much as the theme. I want it to be more like, well, Isoken here. Where I love both the theme and the actual show itself almost equally. And with Isoken, I adore the theme and the show, like, very heavily. um so yeah, last time we met our characters, we have Philly the Kid, who is an outlaw. He seems to have this ability to resurrect from the dead. Like, anytime he's killed, he comes back after a period of time. And I don't know if like the time is different depending on how he's killed or whatnot. I don't know. We haven't really gotten context for that yet. Um, we also have Sam, who is a robot, a titular cannon buster, who was a companion droid for the prince of this kingdom. She is now searching for him while being chased by from what we can tell, possessed royal guards. Because the kingdom was attacked by these giant mechs, who were, these royal guards, by the way, are mechs too, but these giant mechs who were, like, led by this sorcerer. He, like, took over the kingdom and everything, and the prince ended up, like, disappearing or escaping or something like that. I don't remember which one. But now Sam is looking for him along with someone else she met, another little robot, whose name I actually can't think of right now. I'll get more acquainted with the characters and their names. So But this other cute little robot is just freaking adorable and hilarious. Also, a massive gearhead, which is kind of funny to me. Um, but yeah, and our villain we've only gotten a glimpse at so far. The sorcerer, not much else to say because there's other characters in the opening who we haven't seen yet, who I'm sure we'll get acquainted with. But yeah, the first episode introduced us to our main cast. Um, and the second episode focused more on like showing their journey really starting and all. We got to see them interact with these antagonistic. I I think they were cannibals. I think it was implied that they were cannibals and that they also turned human skin into leather and wore it and shit like that. And they were really fucked up. They were these really fucked up like family of people, and it's like they killed Philly, but again, we know he'll come back. In fact, we actually saw him start to come back in the last episode, and the other two were kind of ran into a ditch. So yeah, we'll have to see where this goes because that plot point was kind of left hanging for the moment. But yeah, like I said, we'll do episode 3 for sure here. We might do episode 4. You'll already know by the title of this video, but it's basically going to be dependent on whether I think I want to continue after I finish episode 3. And that's going to be determined by things like where, like, if this plot point finishes up or if I just want to continue or whatnot. We'll see. We'll see. But in the meantime, I am excited to get back to this. I missed it on our week off for One Piece week, but we're finally back, and we're just going to get this going. So when the screen fades to black, pause this redirect and go to the description below. Follow the link to the reaction, and after you watch it, come back here to the redirect and resume play. Because after it fades to black and then fades back in, everything from that point forward will be my afterthoughts and will contain spoilers to the episode or episodes. So that being said, thank you so much for tuning in, and I will see you at the reaction. And we are back, and we'll begin with spoilers in 3, 2, 1, now. So yeah, this was another really good episode, and it's definitely building and expanding upon things that I was hoping that would get built and expanded upon. Though one thing I really did not expect to find out this quickly, um, and that was with the sorcerer. I figured that by the end of the season we would figure out who the sorcerer is and his main motivation for this attack. I did not expect to find that out in only episode 3. So we find out that the sorcerer is the firstborn son of the king, which makes him the older brother of our prince. But it's also implied that he was born to a different mother and that the king abandoned both him and the mother after his birth. We don't know why. We don't know what the reasoning or the thought process behind that was. So we can't just automatically assume the king is scummy for it, because we don't know. There could have been an actual important reason. We'll have to wait to find that out. But it brings up another question on how did he end up becoming like this. Like I said in the reaction, I understand the magic part. It's like, okay, so somehow he learned magic, even though it's supposed to be gone by this time period. Um, that's one thing. But unless his appearance is the byproduct of magic, why does he look like that? Because the king is maybe a bit up there in age, but he's not that old. Like honestly, the sorcerer looks like he'd almost be around the same age as the king, honestly, or maybe like only 10 years younger. And I really doubt the king would have had him really young. Like even if you wanted to say like the king would have been a teenager, it's like I really doubt that that's what they would go for here. So I'm I'm guessing that his appearance has to be some kind of byproduct of the magic or something like that, to where this is not what he normally would look like. Um, so we also find out his motivation is because of the abandonment. He feels like he was not only abandoned, but of course he was denied his right to the throne and to power and stuff. And the thing is, you have to realize, like, if he was abandoned very, very young, we don't technically know when it happened, but I assume that's what it was going for. If he was abandoned when he was very young, like a young child at the absolute uh, oldest, he would have had to somehow have learned about all of this, including the idea of being upset at losing his status and just position and, well, future position, his birthright, basically. Like, someone would have had to have told him that, right? Because unless he was old enough to already understand that kind of thing. But it's kind of implied that he wasn't, so I'm just not sure. I guess we'll have to maybe see where that goes. Um, but yeah, we also got to wrap up this bit of the story, this little story plot point. So Philly comes back from the dead as he does and kills the mother. Just absolutely wrecks her. Just drives that shovel into her skull, and it's like she's just taken care of. So at that point, Casey and Sam manage to get out of the hole by tricking the daughter, Serena, I think her name was. They trick her after having already been trying to do so with the brothers. Or, well, actually, at first, Sam was just trying to, like, she thought they were still good or something. She was thoroughly tricked by them. I don't think she, like, fully understands human nature and everything. She's very naive and overly trusting of everyone, even after being betrayed. So it's like I don't fully think she understands that people can change how they act and everything. But they manage to get out and they manage to activate the bull rush mode again after the coin that was jamming Bessie was shaken loose by the idiot brothers. So they manage to help fight back while Philly is fighting the daughter. And when realizing that Philly's in a bit of trouble at the moment, Sam unleashes her cannon buster mode again. Now, it's unclear if she actively activates it and then forgets it afterwards, or if it's just a automatic thing. Like she sees, like maybe since she is like a friendship droid or something like that, maybe since she considers Philly a friend and she sees him being actively in danger, maybe her systems like override her kind of, just how would I put it? Her will, I guess you could say. Her systems override her will and take over, bringing her into cannon buster mode. And so it's like she's literally not in control. And her entire like mind and everything just completely shuts down during that, so that she literally does not remember anything that happened because she wasn't there. Sam, as we know her, was not there. She was like shut down during that period. That's kind of what I'm thinking. That's kind of what I'm thinking in terms of how it works. Um, I don't think that she actively chooses to activate the cannon buster mode. I don't think it's that. But we get to see the destructive power of it because in the first episode we only got like a brief glimpse of it before it was like just kind of stopped. But here we actually get to see it in full effect. She goes into almost like this, like almost Super Saiyan like mode. uh, Hair changing color and everything, kind of like flaming. Um, she combines her arms together, and they turn into a cannon, and it just shoots out this massive laser that completely vaporizes the daughter, which is like, holy shit. It's like I've seen multiple anime and whatnot, video games and stuff, and even live action movies to some degree, where where there's like some kind of like bomb or something, or some kind of like laser or something where it vaporizes a character. Like you can see like them actually like being atomized by it, or in some cases they're stripped away like layer by layer, which is really horrific to watch. But yeah, it's like the vaporization kind of concept to me as a form of killing or form of death in media. I don't know why exactly, but it really bothers me. Not as much as other forms of death and stuff like there's other ways that you could kill a person in media that really bothers me much more. Skinning a person alive, for example, I don't like that. I've talked about before how I can't stand any kind of like eye torture or anything like that. But for some reason, vaporization, it's just like it it bothers me, and I can't explain fully why. The only thing I can possibly really think of as to why is because it looks, I don't know, to me it looks really fucking painful, especially if it's not just like an all at once thing. If it's like the layer by layer, or if it's like going like from side to one side to the other, vaporizing you from one side to the other, from top down or whatever. You get the idea. It just looks like it'd be super fucking painful. Like imagine like being vaporized starting with one arm and going across your entire body over to the other arm, and it's like imagine what that would feel like. Like, geez, that is frightening. Um, but it was very quick here, fortunately. Um, it did kind of go side to side because her cannon blast started at one side and kind of swept over her, but it was very quick still. But she did scream when it was happening. Like I don't know if that was a scream of pain or fear or both, but I think that's what freaked me out a little there. um, and you could see I was also very uncomfortable with the skinned human bodies hanging on the meat hooks in this episode because, like I said, skinning people alive freaks me the fuck out. And it's just like, and just even seeing skinned bodies like that freaks me the fuck out. I'm not comfortable with that. Which, I mean, I guess is a good thing. I shouldn't be, but still. Um, but yeah, yeah. This family was fucked up, and I'm not upset that they're all dead now. I can't believe that the two idiot brothers survived the longest, though, and were only killed by these guard robots that had been following Sam. So it's like it's just wild. Um, and so it seems like the sorcerer was told about Sam from this one follower of his who we see in the opening and everything. She's one of the people we see in the opening. Um, so she told him about Sam, and it seems like they're going to go after her, but they already are. So maybe the stuff we're seeing with him torturing the king and with this other lady coming up to him, maybe that stuff happened in the recent past. Maybe it was just like it's not like currently; it's more like a flashback. We briefly saw the prince as well, and Odin, the head of the royal guard. I don't know if that was a flashback or not, too, though, because that seemed like that might have been current day. I don't know. I'm not sure where this is going. I'm not sure what they're planning with this, but I mean, I guess we'll see. I guess we'll see. So tell me in the comments below what you thought of episode 3 of Cannon Busters, and thank you so much for tuning in. For now, I'm Connie, and I'm signing off. See y'all next time.